All right, well, welcome back, guys, to the channel. I have been up to quite a few things. So the Tease guitar is here today, and also a new Firefly Strat that I pulled the trigger on. So this will be my first Firefly Strat. That was on Guitar Gardens that I thought was kind of interesting. Recently I sent back the telly because the neck was just not favorable. I returned several guitars. The solo guitar that I ordered went back. I wasn't really happy about that. I never even opened the box. That particular company is in Canada. So, and I got this one, which is identical, the Tease guitar, because I figured with Torsen doing a setup, locking tuners, this was going to be a better guitar. I mean, they're practically identical, the Solo brand. In fact, there was a guy who did a video of the Solo guitar. It's here in my history. I was watching him, and I realized, so here's the Solo guitar in a Tele style, but they also made a Strat style, and so Tease has pretty much the same style of guitar. This one is actually more expensive, and it doesn't come with locking tuners. And to me, it's just another Chinese import with some of the same features that we're getting from the guys that are working with these manufacturers in China. So I sent this one back. I didn't even open the box because their policy was there would be a restocking fee if you even opened the box and wanted to return it. Now, if it was defective, then that would be a different story. But it did cost me $60 to send it back. So I didn't even know they were in Canada. I thought they were a local distribution, but unfortunately not. So I had to bite the bullet on it. So that went back, and then also the Toadstar ST went back. This guitar has a lot of potential. Unfortunately, the pickups, as I had mentioned, they are just very bland. They have no character, no depth. But a really nice guitar. And I did not like the bridge either. The bridge, you couldn't really hardtail the bridge. So it was either going to be floating or not, but you really couldn't hard deck it and have it that way where it just bends forward. So because of the way the saddle design was, these did have locking tuner. It did have a roasted flame maple neck and a nice one. But I mean, for $279, it's not a bad guitar. It's got good bones. It's just that I didn't want to get into changing the pickups. And then if there was anything else I wanted to do in regards to having a different pickup design, you would have to find a pick guard that would fit that guitar, because it's not your standard Fender type of pick guard. So that went back. So the Solo went back and this one went back, and I decided to go with the Tease guitar. That was identical to the Solo guitar with this whole, because Fender actually makes a guitar like this in a Strat style and a Tele style, but they're $600. Plus tax, you're talking closer to $700. And so they're beautiful guitars, definitely. The paint scheme, maybe it's not everybody's vibe, but I thought they were pretty cool. Anyway, I figured, hey, let's get into... Torsen did call me. It's nice when you get a phone call from, the main guy telling you that I forgot about the snow out in New York. He said, yeah, there might be a little delay out there. So I said, oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. So if any of you have gotten the Tease guitar, you know what to expect. Torsten does a great job for the setup. You know, so I went ahead and paid for the setup. And also for the locking tuners on this model. So let's put this down and then take a look at it. Let's take it out of the bag. I only got 2 hands and I don't want to, you know, try to do everything with one. So just give me a sec. Okay, so anything in the pouch? No. I mean, pretty basic bag with the Tease guitars, but you know, that's we already know about that going into it. Yeah, so Torsten, you know, the owner of the company, he had called me and said it's going to be a little late, and we talked for a little bit. So it's cool to, you know, talk to him. The guy's you know, he's a really nice guy, but one of the few things you'll ever come across is having somebody who runs a company and is actually calling you, to giving you updates and stuff like that. That doesn't happen all the time. So yeah, you know, again, I went with this style versus the solo guitar, which was another Strat style guitar. You know, let's take a good look at it right here. So it's got the same sort of vibe, and you know, this is that famous Torsten little thing that he does. He does his setup, locking tuners right out of the back. So this is their newest version of this guitar. Oh yeah, the neck is much nicer. Now I have the other one, the Soulberry, and it's a total different type of neck. Yeah, this neck feels really wonderful. Really, really nice. This has got a really nice grain in it. I don't see any crazy mineral grains. Come on, phone. There you go. There we go. There we go. Very nice looking neck. The back side. This thing will actually pop much better with a black pick guard and even back plate. And you know, the black on this, that's the only thing that's different really about the other ones. But really, really nice. It's got just a really that rich metallic burst. And Fender does make a guitar similar to this, and I almost bought it, except that one on the Fender version, the neck was, there was something going on with the neck, so it wasn't cool. So I actually didn't buy it, but I've always wanted one in this style, you know. Let me get a razor blade. There's another YouTuber, an older guy, his name's Jimmy Stewart, I think. You know, a lot of these old retired guys get into, you know, doing these YouTube videos. And they do a pretty good job. They don't play guitar, you know, they're not all that much with, you know, their guitar skills are pretty basic. But oh yeah, man. So with the new style, you have the truss rod adjustment there. This particular gap on these pick guards shows a little bit too much of the inner cavity, which that's kind of the only thing I don't like about that particular pick guard design. But yeah, very nice. You know, ball in frets, of course. And this thing will really pop with a black pick guard. It just makes it look totally different. And these are sort of the old Squire type 8 screw. I think it's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 8. So if you're going to get a replacement, you want to get a 8-hole pick guard. I don't know if I have an 8-hole. That would avoid you drilling extra holes into the body, which is kind of cool. But again, low profile saddle screws. Neck feels great. So this is the new neck style, you know, compared to the other one, which is, yeah, this is really, really nice. I can't wait to get it all hooked up. I don't have to change the strings because we have Ernie Ball 9s on here, and so this is playable right out of the box. Just got to tune it up, but I'm not going to do that right now. We'll go on to the Firefly and check that out. Hold on, guys. Okay, so now we are here with one of the new releases of the Firefly Strat with the white type of ebony looking fretboard. And this one kind of reminded me of like the first Firefly I ever purchased. And so when I saw this one on Guitar Gardens, because I was just about done with, you know, the whole Firefly thing, I thought I would give this one a shot, just because it kind of was unique and different than, you never know what they put out, but it was just kind of like, I want to just see what it's like. I'm hoping it wasn't going to be too heavy, and I can tell you right now that it's not too heavy. Because sometimes their strats can be really heavy, and so yeah, this one's not that heavy. It feels like a normal Strat, and this one has the newer headstock, but this one has the that different type of ebony on it. It does look pretty cool, man, I gotta tell you. And the neck already, I can tell, feels way better than the Telly neck. So this, you know, just hoping that this one isn't, yeah, that looks good. All right, let's take a good close look up, close-up of this one. It's got some really nice grain, really nice. I like that. Pretty decent matching grain. It moves good. And of course, this has that sort of white streaking sort of ebony, and the blondish back, which has a lot of really nice characters. Very different from their other models with the dark roasted maple necks, and then the back is also very stunning on this one, which to me looks more like, I want to say it's ash. It's hard for me to believe that it's mahogany. You know, they don't really, there's no real description on this, but the more I look at it, it looks like ash to me. But I could be wrong. I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, because that's ash, right? I mean, that's definitely got to be ash. That's ash type of figuring. So that's kind of explains why it's a lot lighter. Yeah, this one's a winner, man. Damn, that is super badass. You know, really, really nice. The only thing it has going against it, and really not that much, is the pick guard. My first Firefly Strat was in this sort of thing, and that was the first thing that went. I went with a different pick guard, but really nice flamed maple top. Yeah, this is a really nice with this bluish trim on here, and yeah, so this is looking really sweet, guys. I just kind of thought that looked really, really badass. I'm not disappointed at all. This neck It's totally different from the Tele. It's like two different guitars, definitely. Oh yeah, very comfortable. The edge feels a lot softer. Nothing rude, man. It's just like really, really nice. Nice locking tuners. You never know if the tuners, they start to slip. They don't really give any real specs. They give a generalization of things, but in each neck, of course, depending on the slice of wood you get, will be different. Some will be better, some will be worse. I don't even want to say worse. It's just that's the way they come out. When you see a lot of guitars with that different type of ebony necks, I think it looks really, really nice. It just kind of pops, man. It looks so cool. So that's pretty much it, guys, for the guitars. Basically, I'm just gonna what is this? This feels like a 10-inch gauge. This actually feels pretty smooth. I don't feel any crazy scratching in here. A little bit, not too much. So you got to go over every guitar that you get from Firefly, no matter what, because you got to check the intonation. It definitely has the big brass riff going on there. You can see that already. That's a bonus in there. You can see the fake D'Addarios. I'll swap that out for a new set, and then it's hard to know if the neck is dry because of these ebony fretboards are just so unique looking. And so I don't believe I have a pick guard to replace it, but I'm not sure if a darker black, because this is gray, it's not really black. I would think maybe a black would make it pop more. It's hard to say. I can kind of compare it to some other ones of what potentially it might look like if it was a darker version of black. But yeah, so I've been doing some upgrades to I'm getting this ready. I picked up this Fender tuner locally here. This is a very hard unit to come by locally, especially locally, for $50. Really, really nice, and it does this back and forth kind of a spectrum thing like the Knight Rider. And then when you get it in tune to whatever your pitch is, the whole Fender logo lights up blue. So this is going to be the layout, because this has an EL34 tube in here. So I want that to breathe. And then of course the Rocktron power amp will get hot. So this will get hot. I wanted some space here for it to breathe. This will get a lot harder because of the tube, and I want to make sure that that's breathing well. So this 12 unit rack space unit came in handy. This is perfect for what I needed. And how I plan to run them is similar kind of how I ran them before when I used to do nothing but racks. But I didn't have this 11 rack in play. I basically had 2 units into the BBE, into the stereo amp, and out to the cabinet. So you can actually daisy chain these processors, so whichever one you turn on, they'll both be running through the BBE. You don't have to go in the back and switch the cables. There's a cable that will allow you to connect them both to the BBE, and then the BBE to here. This is the only thing that will be out of sequence, because I would probably have to manually switch it up to get this running through the cabinet, running it from here into there and then here. So that's the only thing that's not sort of like, I couldn't find a cable that would allow me to do all 3, like a splitter Y 3/4 inch males. So I'm like, whatever. And so I'm just about done with that. And that's going to go in the bedroom. I bought a table to replace the bookshelf I have, so this will sit on top of a small table, and then I will have the amplifier underneath it. I'll be able to connect the speakers to this, because I remember that those speakers on the Black Star Silverline, you can actually disconnect them, and then with a different type of connector, you can actually run them independently without even running the amp. And so I would actually hook it up to this through a little patch cable, and those have that Silverline Black Star has 2 Celestion greenbacks in there, so that'll be cool. Yeah, so I'm just doing little things, but with those 2 guitars that went back, yeah, I'm really happy about this. That thing looks sweet. I've been working a little bit on the Marshall here, cleaning it up. I took this unit out, blew out all the dust. I bought some cool little rollers for it, so I don't have to have it on the rolling cart. So now it has its own little independent rollers. I'm really happy about that. It's just because it's collector's edition, and it's a little banged up. It's got a lot of road worn scratches and bumps. The guy that was using it was in a punk band, so that's cool. I don't mind. I haven't even turned it on. I just like the vibe of it. It's just really, really nice. Other deals of the week were, I saw a guy on Facebook Marketplace selling these Be Quiet computer cases, brand new, $25 each. And I know these were expensive. These were like over $100, especially this one, which is like almost a full-size case. But for me, when I'm building computers, it's always nice to have a nice case, and this is more of a mid-tier sort of a case. But again, very, very nice. The Be Quiet brand has a good quality, and it's very modern. It has the USB-C ports. Yeah, and this one is especially nice because they did make a version of this also. It's got LED strips in the front, but it was just blacked out, with just one solid piece of metal. This actually has the vents, so this is a really, really nice case. Really, really nice. I would like to get that hooked up just to see how it really functions. And it's got the USB-C. So these are very much $25 each. I drove quite a way to get these, but it was definitely worth the drive, because if I ever want to build another computer or just switch it up a little bit, these things come in handy. Save me a ton of money, definitely. So that's it. Do I have one more thing to share with you guys? That I discovered. Hold on. I like listening to this digital type of music. But let me get to where I want to go. Hold on. I just got an email from Tolstar. Well, let us know what you think. Now, these guys were starting to give me a hard time returning the guitar. They were wanting me to make a video of why I didn't like the brand. I'm like, look, let me just send this back. I'm not making you any more videos. I took some pictures and just told them, I want to return it. I'm not completely satisfied. But they were starting to give me a hard time about it. So what I want to talk about is this one video I came across. It's called A Flash Flood of Gear, unboxing over 2,000 pounds of guitars and gears. Now, in this video, these guys got these shipments that they bring in from Japan. So they have a small warehouse somewhere. They have a website. And what's unique about these guys is they're bringing, most of these guitars are coming from overseas. And they're picking up some wild collection of guitars that you normally will not see here in the States. They're not all brand new, but they definitely have a different vibe. It just seems like out in Asia, they make a different type of guitar. The quality is more outstanding. And so I just thought that, this is a really good thing. And I went to their website, and some of their stuff is is pricey, but considering the quality of the craftsmanship coming out of Japan, you know, it's definitely got to be a way better guitar. And they have here on their link, I'll put a link to this in the video so you guys can go visit it. But it's called, this is their website. And it's a very good website. Very, very good. Flash flood gear. And here in their electric guitar section, some seem to be pricey, but considering these are coming from Japan, I think they're very reasonable, especially if you're going to spend big money on a good name brand guitar. I think the options and the quality coming in from Asia is quite different. Not all of these are brand new. I think most of these are used, but they just offer such a unique vintage or one-off or just something you're not going to find here in the States. But I think the quality of all of their instruments really speaks for itself. You know, you'll find some that are less than 1,000, less than 800, but altogether they're very unique, and I would rather spend money on something that has, you know, quality built in mind, especially coming from Japan. This Tokai here is like 800. It's Les Paul style, but man, it was like really popping with, and their pictures are really, really nice. They show all the dings and dents or imperfections. This is a really nice looking Tokai, and they really, you know, show you everything about the guitar, every little nick and anything. So the imperfections are taken in high definition, so you get a good view of the guitar that you're buying, and you know, and if you know the style, then you kind of already know it's probably heavy and stuff like that. So I just thought, man, this is a cool, like, and it was all by accident that I found these guys online. So I was like, yeah, that's pretty badass. And so no matter which guitar you're looking at, they do the same thing. Ibanez, this is a JS Joe Satriani in a burnt transparent blue. Like, what are the chances you're going to find something like that out here? You know, a lot of them come with hard cases, so this would be like one you don't find. This has got like that's totally badass. So if you wanted like something that's just uniquely different, made in Japan, out there overseas in Asia, these guys are doing, like, I think they're really doing a service for us all. Especially if you're going to be spending big money on a quality guitar, you want good quality. Some of this stuff, man, it just doesn't have good quality. And these are, you know, used guitars, but the quality and the uniqueness of them speak, I think, for themselves. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you. They even have in here in their collection the Godzilla Strat. It's like $5,000. Definitely a collector's edition. You know, this is, I mean, but their guitars are just like outrageously nice looking guitars, man. I'm just like, fuck, man, you guys got a great collection of guitars here. And I think a lot of them are reasonably priced. Some of them are definitely in the higher ends, depending on the quality of the guitar, and whether or not, you know, it's got more dings or dents. This is really, really nice stuff they have here. But anyway, I'll leave a link to these guys. I think if you're interested in buying anything made in Japan or of that quality, like they've shown pots where their pots are even stamped made in Japan type of pots. But I think the quality that these guys are scoring on in the Asian market and bringing it over here, I think they're here in the US somewhere. So I thought that was a pretty good, like, you know, if I was ever thinking about dropping $1,200, I would definitely pick something out of here, out of their catalog of guitars, because they have some really, really nice one-off guitars. Here's the Godzilla guitar. I mean, yeah, it's $5,000, but if you buy something like this, you're not fucking playing that, man. You don't want, that's like a total collector's edition. You know, maybe it'll be worth 10 grand in the near future, or 7 grand. I mean, that's just such a cool guitar. But I don't think you buy something like that to play it. I think you buy it to hold on to it, to add to your collection. But that's a really badass guitar, man. You know, especially if you're a Godzilla fan. You don't really like. I'm surprised that hasn't even sold yet. If I had the 5 grand, I would definitely buy that just as a collector's edition. That thing's brand new. That thing is super badass. And on the case too. I mean, that's that's so cool. Anyway, guys, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to be setting up these guitars. I think what I sent back and what I got in exchange is preferably much better. And I really like this Firefly. I think it's just way better than the Tolstar. Yeah, the neck feels great. It's not a heavy ash body. Like I said, some of these Fireflies I got were very, very heavy, but not this one. But all right, guys, thanks for hanging out, and leave your comments. You know, I always appreciate your comments. And for those of you who are subscribers, thank you. This is just my experience and my journey in music and with guitars. But yeah, I think Firefly definitely put out an excellent version of these type of guitars. Looks super cool. Thanks, guys. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you on the rebound.